All right, and welcome everybody now to every other page, now that both are streaming as appropriate. My name is the Mayor, Jason Smith, as we get ready for another installment of Can We Make Impact Wrestling, the best promotion in TEW 2013. Some good news in the last 20 or so days since our last pay-per-view. Number one, we had a pretty decent buy rate despite not being on TV. Number two, we had a sellout. Our first pay-per-view sellout of 2020. Granted, it was the Nassau Coliseum, so it was not exactly, a massive crowd, but a sellout nonetheless. Our buy rate was up slightly. We also were able to come to an agreement on a couple of talent that will be joining the roster here soon, probably after the next pay-per-view, most likely. So as you can see, our roster continues to improve as we go on. We were able to sign Bray Wyatt away from WWE when his contract ran out. We were able to sign Xavier Woods, whom we've repackaged as Consequences Creed, and he will be joining the roster here very soon. And I believe we added... we re-signed... When his contract came up on expiration, we re-signed Rich Swann. I cannot remember if that was covered in our last episode or not, but we've re-signed him. Sonya Deville became a free agent and was not re-signed by WWE, so we went ahead and picked her up to improve our women's division. And so, yeah, we've done a lot of decent roster updates. We have also acquired a TV deal. We are back on Pop TV. So we'll be able to... that starts in June. We'll be back on Pop TV for a full year, a full season, I believe. It might just be 12 episodes. I can't remember what the specifics of the deal were off the top of my head at the moment. But we have a TV deal in place for the U.S., and now when the next cycle comes around... for TV deals, we'll be able to expand back into Canada, back into the UK, and hopefully into Mexico. Also, we've reached out to FreeSat in the UK for some UK pay-per-view buy rates, and we've reached out to 3 Mexican pay-per-view carriers as well to try and land a pay-per-view slot in Mexico, one that we don't have. The only thing we really have worldwide streaming is YouTube. And so we got to try to improve upon that to try to get those buy rates up a little bit. All right, so we've got 7 Days to Sacrifice 2020. In this episode, we're also going to be talking about Bound for Glory 2007 from Duluth, Georgia, the arena at Gwinnett. 9 matches on the card. The first one was an Ultimate X match to determine the number 1 contender for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Triple X, Senshi, and Elix Skipper. Low Key is who Senshi is, if you don't remember who that is, would lose to LAX, Homicide, and Hernandez. The next match on the card was round 1 of the Fight for the Right tournament. So this was a really weird and convoluted thing that they did. So you had 16 competitors that started in the Fight for the Right. And then you had essentially a battle royal, a reverse battle royal, I should say. And the bottom 8 would be eliminated in the reverse battle royal. And then you would do another battle royal. And the next, what was it? 6, I think, were eliminated there. And then you had quarterfinal matches that would determine seeding for the tournament. That would be stage number 2. So it's this really weird thing. So, and the best way I can describe it is the reverse battle royal. You have 8 guys who are eliminated, and then another 6 once you get down to the final 8 of the Battle Royal, the very first one eliminated becomes the number 8 seed. The next one is the 7 seed. The next one is the 6 seed, so on and so forth. Until you get down to the final 2. And then those 2 would fight one-on-one to determine the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed. And then you would have an 8-person tournament. The quarterfinal, stage 2 would be this tournament where you would have the quarterfinals and the semifinals would be regular one-on-one matchups, and then the final would be a ladder match. And then the winner would receive a title shot at Impact TV. That's the best way I can describe it. And that match, you would see Jimmy Rave get eliminated. Havoc, Shark Boy, Petey Williams, Sanjay Dutt, both Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and Wildcat Chris Harris would all be eliminated. So your final 8 would be taking part in an over-the-top battle royal, and you would have Lance Hoyt, Frankie Kazarian, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, James Storm, Eric Young, Bobby Roode, and Junior Fatu, a.k.a. Rikishi, would be in this over-the-top rope battle royal to determine seeding for the 8-person tournament. So the first one to be eliminated would be Junior Fatu. And so Rikishi would be the number 8 seed. No, he wouldn't. I have that backwards. James Storm was the first one to get eliminated. He was in for all of 5 seconds. He was the first one to get eliminated. Then Junior Fatu, so he would be the 7th seed. The 6th seed ended up being Chris Sabin. The 5th seed, Frankie Kazarian. 4th seed, Lance Hoyt. And the 3rd seed, Alex Shelley, leaving Bobby Roode and Eric Young to go one-on-one for the 1st and 2nd seeds. Eric Young would win in a quick match to take the 1st seed, and Bobby Roode would end up being the 2nd seed. So Eric Young wins the first round of the Fight for the Right tournament. So the seeding for the tournament, which would take place later on, would be Eric Young versus James Storm, Lance Hoyt versus Frankie Kazarian, Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin, Junior Fatu versus Bobby Roode. There you go. Okay, moving on. As we get back in game here, we'll go ahead and advance the day. Hopefully we can pick up a pay-per-view, or an additional pay-per-view carrier. I'd really like to see our buy rate numbers go up so we can eventually start turning a profit. And we also, I'm very excited for TV to start back up in June, because then it will make filling our pay-per-view cards out that much easier. Right now we're kind of winging it and hoping for the best, and we don't have the ability to use TV to kind of gauge where we're at and whether or not those matches would be good. Alright, so nothing really going on here. Jake Roberts, Mil Mascaras have both retired. Joseph Connors has made an offer to Progress. He's on our short list, our watch list. So I'm hoping he can find himself a gig. 6 days away from Sacrifice. Next match on the card at Bound for Glory 2007 would be for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Team Pac-Man, R-Truth, and Consequences Creed, the champions going into this one. Adam Jones at ringside would take on AJ Styles and Tyson Tomko. AJ and Tomko would pick up the win in this one. Pretty standard match. Next up would be the X Division Championship. Always put on a good show with the X Division. Probably my favorite division in TNA at the time was the X Division. Christopher Daniels would lose to Jay Lethal, who would retain his X Division title. Next up, a 2 out of 3 falls tables match between the Steiner brothers and Team 3D. So how it worked was you basically had to put one or the other of the opponents through a table to win the fall. So the first fall went to Team 3D. Rick Steiner got put through a table. Scott would put Bully Ray through a table with a Frankensteiner from the top rope. And then the final elimination would be Devon going through the table via the Steinerizer. Because everything had to have Steiner in it when you were the Steiner brothers. And the Steiner brothers would end up winning the 2 out of 3 falls table match. There you go. Alright, let's check our news in game. Mauro Ranallo is a free agent. I would love to have Mauro Ranallo on board. If we can get Mauro Ranallo on board, we can have him work TV. As you see our announce crew here. We can have Mauro Ranallo and JBL on TV, Michael Cole and JBL on pay-per-views, and Joey Styles kind of get in where you fit in. I might even just release him. Alright, so we were turned down by Cablevision, turned down by Azteca. I don't know what rival they're referring to. I'm going to guess it's YouTube, which is going to kill me because I need to cancel this contract. Because really, I mean, we're set in the US and Canada, and the only thing holding me up in Mexico and the UK is this stupid ass YouTube contract. So I want to get rid of it. And try again. We're pretty big in the British Isles, so I want to start there. And I'm going to reach out to the BBC because they're the biggest. And we'll go back to FreeSat to see what they have to say. And then we'll also check out UK, or Mexico rather, and see what we can do with Azteca. And we'll reach out to, let's reach out to Dish TV Latin America and Cablevision. And then we've already got pay-per-view deal in Canada. Let's see if we can get one in Japan. Let's try TV Osaka. See if we can get that pay-per-view deal out of them. Okay. Sonya Deville will be able to start work tomorrow, just in time for Sacrifice. That's perfect. So we'll move on there. The first ever TNA Women's Knockout match would be first up. Or next up, I should say. It was a gauntlet for the gold match. So it basically just your traditional gauntlet match. First in would be Tracy Brooks and Jackie Moore. Miss Brooks would get eliminated. Shelly Martinez would come in next, and she would stay in along with Jackie Moore. Awesome Kong would be next in, and she would eliminate both Shelly Martinez and Jackie Moore. ODB came in after that. Her pay-per-view debut. Awesome Kong's pay-per-view debut. Shelly Martinez's pay-per-view debut. Angel Williams, Angelina Love, would jump on board next. She would be the 6th to enter. Christy Hemme would be next to come in. And she would be the next eliminated by Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong would then, we would see Gail Kim come in, and Awesome Kong would be eliminated, by ODB, Angelina Love, and Gail Kim. And then Angelina Love would get eliminated by Gail Kim and ODB. Then you had Talia Madison come in, who would be promptly eliminated by Gail Kim. ODB would then get eliminated by the 10th entrant, Roxy Laveau. Gail Kim would then eliminate Roxy Laveau, who would become the first ever TNA Women's Knockout Champion.com. Whatever you want to call it. I don't really know what to call it. But she would win, last eliminating Roxy Laveau for the knockout title. We have unread emails and a decision awaiting our response. And not much happening in the way of news. All right. Cool. Pay-per-view contract with FreeSat. 12 months, non-exclusive. We'll go 80% to FreeSat. We'll see what they say. Too long. And the revenue split. So we'll go 6 months, 90% to FreeSat. All right, cool. We have British pay-per-view now. So that's fantastic. That is great news. We have a British pay-per-view that is not YouTube. So we should be able to get our buy rates up a little bit. Mauro Ranallo not being seriously considered for the NXT offer. So looks like we should be landing Mauro Ranallo here very soon. Sonya Deville has joined the roster. We'll bring her on board. And we'll move forward. Next up is, what do we got here? A singles match featuring Samoa Joe and Christian Cage. Matt Morgan would make his official debut, pay-per-view debut, as the special ringside enforcer. And Samoa Joe would beat Cage via submission in about a 15-minute match or so. Next up, we'll get into our decisions here, because I think we've got another pay-per-view coming up, or another pay-per-view provider, I should say. Not much going on news-way except for Hillbilly Jim hanging him up. Jeff Cobb looks like he's going to re-sign in Ring of Honor. Dish TV Latin America. There we go. 12 months with Dish TV Latin America. Hooray for us. NXT continues to try to retain Mauro Ranallo, still not being considered. So it looks like we might be able to reel him in as we get closer to our pay-per-view. Next up on the card at Bound for Glory 2007 would be a Fatal 4-Way Monsters Ball match. Black Rain, Rhino, Abyss, and Raven. And you would have Abyss pick up the win in that one. Sorry, I'm super distracted for some reason. Abyss picking up the win over Raven, Rhino, and Black Rain. James Mitchell actually would partner up with Black Rain at the Monsters Ball match. Lots of stuff going on here. Wow. Lady Tapa. NXT UK has a new team. Lots of people changing their styles and retiring. Super Parka gonna retire. Sandman, Gangrel, Rick Steiner, D'Lo Brown, Cassius Ohno's leaving WWE. Not being offered an extension. Tim White, Harley Race, all retiring. 2 days to Impact Sacrifice. So we'll move forward and talk about the main event of Bound for Glory 2007, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, between the reigning champion Kurt Angle and Sting. A fantastic match. And one of my more well-received pay-per-views, I guess you would say. At least in my personal opinion. Sting and Kurt Angle always put on a good show. About an 18-minute match. And Sting would become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion after defeating Kurt Angle. Good stuff there. Got some new emails. Brian Lawler looks like he's retiring. Rest in peace, Brian Lawler. Aiden English set to leave WWE, possibly. Oh, he's going to stay. Cal Bloom. I don't know who that is. Somebody. But he's got an extension headed his way, possibly. Zandra Bale. Private Anthony. Looks like they're all staying as well. Matt Sydal with an extension from PWG. And people upset with their being relegated to development. Tomorrow night is Impact pay-per-view. So we'll go ahead and run our medical. Everybody's healthy and clean. Alex Shelley still on vacation, recovering from the injury. We'll move forward. And on episode number 43, we will be talking about TNA Genesis 2007. You would see no quote-unquote debuts in this one, but it would be the in-ring return of Kevin Nash. So you would see that. You would also see a Fatal 4-Way with the women on that card as well. Booker T would make his TNA debut. I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, Booker T would be making his debut in the main event. Unread emails waiting. Okay. Ric Flair's retiring. Jerry Lawler's retiring. Michinoku Pro might be in some trouble money-wise. Do they have anybody that I would want to pick up? Not really. Okay. So we may have to let them die. Tajiri retiring. Kabuki retiring. Damn, there's a lot of big names retiring. Grand Cochise. Carlos Colon Sr. Bill Eadie. Ah, that's sad. Ron Simmons passed away. That's the one thing I don't like about this game, are the deaths. Because it's usually people that I really liked that are passing away. Being the Elite was put on last night. Frankie Sloan retiring. Paul Ellering retiring. Viano 3. Glenn Gilberti. Chaz Washington. Or Warrington. Tiger Ali Singh. Taru. Holy crap. There's a lot of stuff going on. Shane Strickland joins Lucha Underground. Great Khali is retiring. Wow, a lot of stuff happening. Holy cow. Mark Haskins and Jack Sexsmith are still salty about being stuck in development. Sucks to be them. I don't really have a place for them on the card at the moment. We are going to be at the Paladin Stadium. And apparently my dog doesn't like that. Not a fan of Paladin Stadium, apparently. I don't even know where Paladin Stadium is. What the hell is that? Paladin Stadium. Oh, okay. Paladin Stadium is in Greenville, South Carolina, and it is the home to the Furman University Paladins football team. There you go. I didn't know. Alright, so Impact Sacrifice, 3-hour pay-per-view. And we'll take a look here, and we'll get our champions underway here. So we'll start with the Impact Grand Championship. Seth Rollins defeated TJP to win that title. So we'll see what Seth wants to do here. I don't think we have any upper mid-card guys debuting. We do not. So the question is, who do we want Seth to take on here? I think we'll go Adam Cole. Adam Cole, Seth Rollins for the Impact Grand Championship. Trying to bring some prestige to this title because there's not much associated with it at the moment. Next up is the Knockouts champion, Billy Kay. And I think I want to go Fatal 4-Way for this one because we've got all of those women that are debuting. So we'll start with Billy Kay, and then we'll go Sonya Deville. I guess she's the only one that's really technically debuting. Let's put Gail Kim in there and Kiera Hogan. I like Kiera. Actually, let's put Kairi Sane in there. We'll give her an official quote-unquote rematch for her women's title. Which still needs to be renamed. I don't like the name Knockouts title. Just doesn't sound prestigious. It makes it sound like the old WWE Diva days. Alright, we'll give Kiera Hogan a one-on-one match. With Mandy Rose on the main card. Okay, so we have 10 women left. We'll just pop them into a battle royal and finish off the women's division. There we are. And we'll pre-show it. And I forgot to assign Amy to our women's division matches. I really like the work she's done with the women's division stuff as the road agent. Alright, tag teams. So the Lucha Bros are still the reigning, defending, undisputed tag team champions of the world.com. And let's see, the Inner City Machine Guns got over last time. Let's get the Bucks. And we'll see how this one goes. And a little one-on-one for the tag team titles. Don Callis is going to road agent this one for us. And then we've got 5 tag teams left. So we'll do... Yeah, we'll have to do a fatal 4-way because we're going to take a penalty for having a bunch of jobbers on one card if we don't. We'll do the Inner City Machine. You know what? Actually, we might be able to get away with something here. Let me try it. I hope it works. So we'll do a triple threat with the Coffee Brothers, Gorillas, and the Inner City Machine Guns. And I hate to do it to Ricochet and Rich Swann, but I'm going to pre-show it. Actually, I'll probably post-show it. We'll go ahead and post-show that one. And then we will do a standard tag match with OVE and the Briscoes. And we'll pre-show this one. Okay, so the tag teams are completed. Women's division is complete. Now we just have excuse me, our world championship with Cody, and the X division, somebody trying to take down Marty Scurll. So Cody can face Kenny Omega for the world title. Oops. Okay, then Marty Scurll can meet let's see, Kofi for the X Division title. Alright, now we can backfill the rest of our matchups. And we'll start with the 3 guys left on the lower mid card, Adam Page, and let's do Hangman and Jake Hager. That'll be an interesting one, for sure. Then we'll get Flip Gordon. Who can Flip meet? We'll have Flip take on... I doubt this is gonna work, but Flip Gordon, Sami Callihan. 2 completely different styles and psychologies going on in this one. But we'll see how Scott D'Amore makes it work. Alright, and last but not least, on the lower mid card, we have Dalton Castle. And I would like Dalton Castle to meet... When was the last time these two went one-on-one? Back in January. And it wasn't good. Okay. So, we'll try Bobby Fish. That one was okay, but we did it already. Just a month ago. So, we'll go Jay Lethal. We did it just shy of a year ago, and it wasn't that great. How about John Moxley? There we go. Dalton Castle, John Moxley. Again, two completely different styles. Okay, now we're up to the big boys on the card. We'll start with the mid-card guys, and Mike Elgin, Johnny Impact. That ought to be something to see. Mike Elgin is ridiculously athletic. Like, stupid athletic. A dude that big should not move that well. It's almost unfair. Because you have it on every other console. Let's get Jay Lethal somebody to fight here.
Are you streaming?
Mm-hmm. Alright, who can Jay Lethal fight? TJP? Nope. It has never been good. So, let's try again. Let's try Shawn Spears. Yeah, we'll give it a go. What the hell? We'll back this one up a little bit. Okay. Next, let's do a tag team match. We'll throw a team together here. Let's put TJP and Will Ospreay on a team against Jay White and Bobby Fish. I have no idea how well these teams will mesh together, but it's worth a go. Stick that one in between those piles of singles matches there. Alright, and last but not least, Eli Drake, EC3. Alright, so there's our card. Nice and deep there. 185 minutes, and let's kick it. So, the Women's Battle Royal would be won by Shayna Baszler. C+ rating, not bad. A B rating out of OVE versus the Briscoes. So that one paid off pretty well. Just kind of sucks that it was on the pre-show. Eli Drake and EC3 put on a decent match. B+ out of the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. The Lucha Brothers would retain their titles. Shawn Spears beats Jay Lethal in a B- match. A B match between Sammy and Flip Gordon. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. B- out of our Thrown Together tag team match. A B out of Johnny Impact and Mike Elgin. That's awesome. Kiera Hogan and Mandy Rose go to a C+. A B for Dalton Castle and Jon Moxley. Adam Page and Jake Hager did not go well. That's kind of a bummer. B- match out of our women's division matchups here. Billie Kay makes defense number 1 of her Impact Knockouts title. Marty and Kofi fight to a B rating, and Kofi is your new Impact X Division champion. Seth Rollins defends the Impact Grand Championship over Adam Cole. And Cody defends the Impact World title over Kenny Omega in a B-rated match. Our post-show match, not good, a C. Overall, a B rating, increased our popularity in 24 regions, so spot on there. And some pretty strong match of the night candidates, but it's got to go to the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. So we'll give Phoenix and Penta some praise. And we'll congratulate Kofi on winning the X Division Championship. Go ahead and make that speech. All right, let's check our buy rate and wrap this episode up. Saraya Knight has officially retired. Defiant might be headed under. Nobody really... Like, holy crap, I need to get in on those guys, so... We'll deal with an excellent show out of one night only. Our buy rate, a 1.55. Much better. Despite not having TV, we definitely needed that one. Jake Hager, Mike Elgin, Sonya Deville need some time to heal. We've got TV in 10 days for the first time in a couple of months. So, let's, just how worn out are they, I guess? Not enough to even register on the medical, so... That's going to do it for this episode, and in our next episode, obviously, we will be back on TV, and we'll talk Impact Genesis 2007. That's going to do it for this episode. My name is the Mayor, Jason Smith. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see.